My colleagues, Mr. Tripathi and Mathur Sahab on the dais, His Excellencies, speakers, peers, and the leaders of the oil, gas, and coal industries, and the dear participants, good afternoon. I will take only 10 minutes as suggested. The last speaker of the session, very comfortable, challenging, and constrained. Comfortable because everything has been spoken, most of the things. Challenge because what to speak more. And constraint is a time. Within these three framework, I will work here. My out-of-box thinking now, what is left for me is out-of-box thinking. I will try to give you some thought process. You carry forward, come out with a solution or with a discussion. That will be my presentation here. I would like to dwell with. The question is, the natural gas fuel the future. Will it be or why it should be? What is necessity? Or there is compulsion. That's what I say, we should think out of box. Somebody said, you have to use natural gas. Should we really use it? Now let me see, is there any option? The option is, if you see the global energy basket, it is still led by fossil fuel, irrespective of the awareness of renewables since long back. Many of the countries have achieved a lot of things in the renewables, like we have seen in the morning, Germany, very good for solar, and so many countries for wind energy. But still, the global average is about 86% of the fossil fuel, and India's is 92.5. With this kind of weightage, where gas percentage in the global basket is almost 24 plus, in India, as you have seen, almost 6%. Where do you go? The question, if you see how the energy will grow, it is today's position. If you compare for, let's say, 2035, both IEA, we go by BP statistical review of the energy outlook. BP says 2035, it will become 132% of 2012. That means it takes you 2035, almost 1300 MTOE for India. And for world, it goes to 17,000 or 7,500 MTOE. But IE has given still more. You have seen the morning, they say 1400 to 1500 MTOE by 2030. That means if such a stress on the energy side is to be undertaken by the world and India, what should be the energy basket? This is one side. Second side, you see, which will decide the energy basket? Will it be the availability, ease of availability, like coal for us, Africa coal, China coal, could be one step, because that is by next door. Why not use that? But what are the constraints using coal? Second will be economics. If today, as you have said in the morning, the solar plant in Rewa can get a bid of 2.97 per unit, or in 25 life cycle it is 3.25 or 27. But I will not clap here. Will it be sustainable? How much power it will give you? 750 megawatt. What is the loading factor in solar? And what for India? We are talking about 1300, 1400, 1500 MTOE energy. It is a peanut. So clapping will be when we get a reasonable or sustainable, as His Excellency told in the morning. The sustainability, such a low tariff may or may not be workable. If you do not get compensate, as Mr. Sharma has said, the indigenous production of gas, if it is not sustainable or if it is not given due price, where is the exploration? You have seen for last 4-5 years in India, almost standstill. The domestic production has been standstill, almost it has gone down. So therefore, good hope from Mr. Mathur. LNG has taken over. It was almost 0% in 2002, 2003, when we struggled, as Tripathi has said, even to sell 10,000 meter cube of gas. Today it is 45%, huge. So therefore, when you want to have an energy basket, you have to say, you need availability, you need economics, and environmental consideration. This is very important. If you see environmental consideration for the laymen like us, we'll say wind and solar, topmost priority, followed by hydro as a renewable, followed by biogas, natural gas, nuclear, oil and gas products, and coal finally, in the priority of environment. But if you see again life cycle, how the whole life cycle, if you operate these energy for 25 years, what is alternative going on, how they are polluting the whole environment, not only your local areas, the wind hydroelectric will be top, where they have got almost 26 ton of CO2 emitted per megawatt power generation. Top best. Then followed by nuclear. Nuclear is a question mark, which Mr. Tripathi has said. The feeling of the people, the cost effectiveness, and the idleness of the equipment if something goes wrong. Then biomass is coming up, very big thing. Where I was discussing at one of the forum, the biomass or biogas is so good for India. It can be replicated for the world, but India, as of today, if you can harness the biogas, it has two benefits. One, that you reduce the CS4 emissions, which is as dangerous 21 times than the CO2. Second, you get that biomethane, and the potential of biogas in India is 89 million standard cubic meter a day. You can note it. It can be proven, and it is proved. So biogas is one of the area. Solar PV, as you have said. Solar PV, I will make sure we have to change our strategy. It cannot be dependent on large solar park, like Reva I am telling. It's a success story as of today. No clapping. We will clap tomorrow. It will be only possible to have harnessing the large amount of solar energy which India has if you involve the slow and low or medium class of investment. That is the model of Germany, rooftop model, standalone models. India has huge area, huge population which can be harnessed. So, I mean, one more thing, you should not depend only on the large solar park. The natural gas comes next, which is a benign fuel. If you compare with respect to natural gas, oil and coal, the best performance CO2 wise, if coal is 100, oil is 80, natural gas is 57 as per CO2 emission. For NOx, if coal is 100, oil is 71 and natural gas is 31. It's a percentage parity. And SOx, 100 coal, oil 68, natural gas 0. So this gives you a preference for the natural gas in terms of environment. Then what should be the energy basket? As I said, should we use the gas? Can we use the gas? How much? Question is, still you feel environmentally, as I deliberated above, the renewables are the best. There is no second thought. So should we, I think we should optimize on renewables. Then comes what could be the capacity which renewable will give you for sustainable growth of the country in respect of energy utilization and economic growth. So I will still use my submission, optimize renewable. I'll come back, how much you can optimize than renewable. That's very important. Then optimize natural gas, which is a blend of biogas, conventional and unconventional natural gas, shale and gas hydrates, which you'll see tomorrow. Shale and gas hydrates. What enormous potential, but only sideline. If you see here India, we have various estimates, even the gas hydrates in KG basin, which is now preliminary estimate, 1,234 TCF. Mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Some of the students can note down and will interact somewhere else. Very interesting. Then we have to have that petroleum products. Those have to be treated in the, you have seen the morning, Euro 5, Euro 6 or BS5, BS6. What is the cost involved? That has to decide the basket. Nuclear, again coal. Gas has no substitute in the energy basket because you cannot have the fulfillment of your basic need of the energy which I have described by the renewables. Even if you see, it may be a tall claim as government agreed, in the context of India, let me say, in COP21 Paris Declaration, we said we will have 40% power generation by renewables. It's a very broad statement. In normal way, if you see, a country has almost 42% of the primary energy goes for power generation. And even BP says by 2035, it will become 46%. If you work on that, the 42% PE goes to about, it will take about almost 600 MTOE for power generation with this equivalent. And in terms of gas, if you see, it accounts for almost 700. If you see the energy, the energy outlook, or you see the proposed renewable energies, which government has said solar will go 100,000 megawatt, wind, so in total 175,000 megawatt. So the gas equivalent comes 700 MMSCMD. So such a huge assessment will be difficult to meet. So therefore, in my opinion, gas has no substitute as a primary energy or a energy growth. Now I will give you inside the box. It was out of box. The question in exercise, which I think Mr. Tripathi can help in an integrated policy, where inside the box in a three-dimensional figure, our operating point for deciding the energy basket should rest. Meaning thereby, you have x-axis as an economic growth. Country projects economic growth in an x-axis. Okay, my year-on-year growth is so and so. You draw x-axis. Your y-axis, giving energy intensity, how much energy is required to have that much kind of economic growth. And I can tell you, the world over, energy intensity, including efficiency, if you increase the efficiency, intensity will go down, is reducing. By 2035, it is expected almost 36% of what it was in 1996. So, y-axis give you the energy required for that particular kind of growth. You come to z-axis. Decide if the pollutant are to be restricted to our national policy. Where should be the operating point? Then decide the basket. So my way forward will be, finally, active gas-based economy, India needs 3 C's, which I think people have said. I said availability of gas, I have no doubt. Even 14 countries where we go, 87% of the gas reserves. For 52 years plus as of today is the RNP ratio. So you are not to bother, it is still increasing. So availability is, I don't think is the problem. Problem will be accessibility. Mr. Tripathi rightly said, if you go northeast grid, it will be really accessing to the northeast potential of Assam-Arakan belt, which is hitherto is totally, not totally, but not properly explored. Then our grid needs to be almost doubled, actually 16,500 to 33,000. Let's have a target for within 5 to 10 years, then only it will be better. And then affordability. At the market price, it has to be determined. And I think my personal view is that we should not subsidize crosswise. We should have a market-driven pricing policy. And let us think how much percentage gas should have in the Indian energy basket or even the world energy basket. Thank you very much.